I'm Scott Cameron from In24. We're here bright and early in Toronto, Canada, where we're going to go over our daily feeds with our editors and really find out what we're going to cover. You can follow us on Telegram where you can stay up to date on everything that we're going to cover on In24.
Hey, welcome back. So let's look at this story here from COVID and religion. Our man Steve posted this one. So you were talking about this one before, Pan?
Yeah.
You think it would be a good republish?
Yes, I think it would be because religion is very important to people, and this kind of information is something they would like to know.
Mm-hmm. I like this too because we're talking about a charter challenge going to the Superior Court of Justice.
Yes.
So I think any time like that where people are really etching out their rights and where the kind of that balance between state and individual and religious rights lie, I think that's really relevant to our audience. So I'm down with that one. So we'll just make that a straight republish.
Yeah, I like it too, just because it's...
I think even in the
topical.
last week, California court also had a similar case where they were actually against New York rule about against religious.
Well, no, the California, they struck down actually the governor's...
Andrew Cuomo's governor's rule about the religious gatherings.
So we should post this one up, and then we should see about a bit of follow-up too, because we've got, I mean, it's in the court docket. We want to see how that's happening. There's potentially we could reach out for an interview to the pasture as well. So
yes, yeah, like this can it can be a little bit more than just republish, but yeah, we can do it.
You get the ball moving and then see what else is happening along those lines. Okay, I like that.
Especially, once we republish, send out for an interview. So I've made the card. It's good to go.
Okay.
So I'm just making a note over there so we know that this has been dealt with.
Awesome. So this next one is a final report from Vera. It doesn't have much commentary, and it looks like it's a pretty big PDF file. So I don't know. Hunter Biden, Burisma, and corruption, the impact on U.S. government policy and the related concerns.
So what exactly are we going to cover from this huge document?
There's a whole thing with like getting. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure talk about the merits of it, like weigh out the value that we could get. I mean, I don't know what, but because there is a story that is about how the media was trying to cover up everything that Hunter Biden was doing and more or less was involved in manipulating the consciousness, but again the exact answer, what it is we're going to be doing, is another thing. So we had this conversation with Vera when she comes in here.
I mean, even I believe that's why he got let go. I mean, he said he resigned, but because he didn't really correct, or Bill Barr didn't correct the story, and kind of was hidden this whole time during the elections, and then only comes out now. So there's something there, but just with the document,
I mean,
like
sometimes it might even be neat if we could just find like a spot to have document dumps on our website, so we could just have these like official things.
This is
without
like the
any,
wiki is so close to having, so people can we can just add this to the wiki, and in essence, like, hey, like, do like we have it here so you can investigate yourself. We don't have time, but a way that we can kind of
because I would like, when we have limited resources, I wouldn't like to just randomly pick up reports and start reading through that and in the hopes of finding a story. So I don't want to do that.
Right, yeah, like just the idea, and
unless we have certain news that it is a very huge deal and we can find evidence in these documents, then going through them makes sense. But randomly picking up documents just to go through that in hopes of getting a story, I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and I think also like the notion that Hunter Biden was on the payola of some companies, that's almost like standard fare. We definitely can write stories about that, but I think we should like just kind of pick like the low-hanging fruit of those stories, right? Like, you know, pick the obvious stuff.
It also depends on how many in the wiki we are going to do, how many investigations we are going to do this week, because
So anyway, we'll address this one later. So this one you posted, Scott. Who's this guy?
So there's another study on vitamin D, and so this is just a tweet where he comes out and just kind of, he's a doctor and he just describes and talks about it, and this is actually a controlled group study, and he goes over it. So I just thought, again, I think we should be, for me, really vigilant on this vitamin D and how it's just nowhere in any of our public health or anyone talking about it. So yeah, it was just a retweet and posting this guy out.
I think there's also like a bit of a apprehension that people have because it's I can't hear what he's saying, so I don't know.
Do you scroll? I mean, if you go forward in it a bit, like if you.
Anyway, yeah.
He goes over the graph, and that one.
I still don't have any sound. So anyway, the point I was going to be making there is that when it comes to like vitamins, nutrients, and all this sort of stuff, it's like the education needs to be more comprehensive about it, because you can't just be like, vitamin C you basically can. You can just say take all the vitamin C you want, but other ones like other vitamins you have to balance it. It's like the fat soluble ones, which I believe is vitamin D. I can't remember, but basically like you don't want to overdo it with some of them. So it's not like we don't want to be coming across as just being like, oh, here's the be all end all solution, because that's, you know.
I mean, in the study, it does tell you how many. I forget the.
No, this is I'm sure a pretty solid tweet, because it is from if this guy is indeed a doctor, it doesn't have that information here, which is. Sorry.
He does have his medical degrees in the background, and
it's assumed from.
If you go to his Instagram on that link, if you click on that link, we have to do a little bit more, obviously, to go in to confirm that, but
I mean that's
pretty easily confirmed.
Okay, if you could find out the basics of the journalism here, like who is it, like, and all that stuff.
So one thing I think that's interesting, again, click on the link there.
Yeah, if I click on the link, it is taking me to first randomized control trial on vitamin D and COVID. Because
I mean, a lot of these trials, a lot of the things have been observed in nature. Like, okay, we see this. Like even vitamin D is where there's low vitamin D. They're not studies, so this is like a randomized control.
Yeah, I mean, they have for general respiratory conditions and what have you, but they haven't done a specific one for COVID, right? So that's good. So this is, again, we'll just make sure we get the who, what, whys, like what the group is and everything like that, and where we should. What is this then? Just a retweet, or do you want to do a quick little article on it as well?
I mean, I don't have time for the article. I'm down for. Literally can make a retweet now, but actually our whole vitamin. I would have done redo the vitamin D story, or we didn't even from our original vitamin D video. We don't have a story, but maybe like a short article would be good that we can link to our other thing. But for me, I can do the tweet right now.
We can make a note of that for the writers today, because we're going to be meeting with a bunch of them. So
should a short web article I'll put then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Again, we have to kind of assess out our resources and our calendar, but we'll see if we could fit that in there.
Yes.
Okay. And this next one is also from.
Is anyone going to comment on that to make sure that...
You can say go ahead. And also in the comments, I'm putting a link to the Trello card that I make. So it's another way for people to find where it's gone.
Okay, so you're going to do that? Because you're making a Trello
card. You can
card.
make that comment and then...
Okay, go ahead. It will be great to... Okay.
Okay, moving on. So this one is Scott again. This Maze place. What's happening here?
This is actually right near where I'm staying, and if you go to the next one, it was kind of a little bit more, I thought, an interview, and even it's on the same. They're two pictures together.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been in business 20 years. I employ 13 people, and I employed 35 people prior to the pandemic. And we need a lockdown. We need
Modified lockdown for all small business.
My issue is think outside the big box is the hashtag too, which you can't see. It's at the bottom of the screen. But I just thought, I mean, for interviews, now also for the pictures. So I'm gonna take the DSLR and do more kind of camera and stuff like that.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I thought for at least an interview to go out in correspondence, reaching out to them.
Are these your pictures you took?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has the hashtag to even do a little bit more into it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Look, fill out this story a bit more if we do an article with what's going on with that hashtag, right? Other businesses.
I just think that we should be doing more such stories because everybody is ignoring small businesses, especially the government.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. Yeah, that's like a really good feature.
Yeah,
even.
and I really don't like the idea of just Amazon and big box stores gaining from this pandemic and everybody else just going bankrupt.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
yeah.
it has no logic, and even when the whole thing with Addison Barbecue, he was like, there was no scientific, like Doug Ford could not provide any data saying why restaurants and small businesses should close and these large stores open. So I think just highlighting the people, not just businesses, big box, like let's get an interview with these people.
How it impacts small people and local economy.
For sure. Yeah, we'll check that out. Are you making a note there?
Yes, I'm just adding a note that we would love to have a story or interview, whatever, if possible. Get in touch with them, have nice pictures. As I said, I also want to have kind of picture stories going forward. Mm-hmm. So,
more visuals. Yeah,
yes,
of course. Yeah,
the human side and like.
Oh yeah. That was the other great thing about the WoW liquidation, because it had those really great pictures to it as well, right? So it was very.
And when it connected with the owner, there was this picture of the owner with his grandson.
Yeah, exactly.
It brings it's not just business.
It became very human, and even I love getting off onto this topic, but talking about how it's like he doesn't want anyone to give him money. He goes, come to my store and buy stuff if you want it, right? So
that was that touched me a lot. He just refused that, no, I'm not going to do crowdfunding because everyone is in bad situation.
Yeah, yes, if you will
and
want
then
it,
come get one person and then everyone gets crowdfunding. It's just like,
I need to get some stuff. We'll zip over there after. I don't think it's far from here.
Yeah, I found that comment very cute of yours.
Okay, now the next one is Scott wants to go swimming in the snow.
Yep, pretty much. Again, because I'm being barred from COVID, which is great. I wanted...
Not being barred from COVID, but you need to round out your your contributions.
It's fine. So this I've actually already started, and I was thinking just more... Yeah, I mean, the Wim Hof Challenge, this guy climbed Mount Everest in his shorts. He injected himself with a live virus.
Is he doing them rounds right now because he just did he published a book or something like that? What's his because he's in the media again.
Well, his app is what actually I didn't even.
Oh, okay.
This is like his new app, and like right there, the new 30-day challenge. So I'm doing the 30-day challenge. So I'm on day 3 now. Wake up, breathing exercise. I'm doing a cold shower, then push up. So you do the breathing exercise, then you breathe out, and then you do push-ups. And
that's why you were saying that you were going to go do push-ups out.
Yeah.
What, were you outside?
Yeah.
Not yet. Well, I meant to do it 3 times a day, so I'm like, what am I going to do at lunch?
Yeah.
I just told him that just make sure that he's not run over by anyone else.
Yeah.
Well, there's a park there. But the thing, I've already found 3 people who actually have trained under him. But I do really want to reach out to more of the science background too, and just kind of do more of a comprehensive study or just communicate around there, and I'm vlogging my progress. So,
I think it will be a great one because it will be also at the end of you will be experimenting it for a month or 2.
Well, it's 30 days, so pretty much January 14th, I'll be done. And that's why if it works to his level, I'm down to go in shorts to Lake Ontario, do my final report there, and just do a dip in Lake Ontario and come out and still finish the report. Is it as effective? But I do also want to go talk to doctors. Like I have 3 potential interviews lined up with people who teach this, and I would like to get either hooked up to electrodes or like figure out again if you can climb Mount Everest in his shorts, like what's going like it's something very
If you have
interesting.
3 people for interviews, how about you look at some kind of tabletop discussions with them and like discuss
would be
this
better.
topic? After this, like you can do in the wiki about your whole experiment and how it turned out, and then after that we can have another episode where like it's a discussion between you guys, your experience, and all those 3 people who trained along with them.
Yeah, the 3 people I think it's great doing it all at once. Those 3 people are trainers, so I'm just want to like find again other industries and things. So yeah, but I mean this will be out there. Message up if anyone's like a doctor or someone has like a different perspective, and I also want to find because like even I thought of interviewing you. I remember you saying that this is a very like corrosive thing on the body.
Well, I don't know, but it's it just seems to be like the almost exact opposite of what Master Wong teaches, right? So like I mean, so I don't have like the science behind it or anything like that, but yeah, it's like the idea of like adding a lot of extra oxygen to your body, because the oxygen, like it's fuel, but it's also a corrosive material, right? So
Yeah.
our master always trains like our breathing. It should be like kind of like a long exhale and like a more like a deep inhale, but not like the lung where he's like jamming all the oxygen air into the lungs, right? So it's like this idea of I could train myself to walk through the cold and all this sort of stuff. Like it's not natural and it's not really what we should be doing.
I'm very interested in that. Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's better than freezing to death. So, whatever.
So I'm going to comment that let's start with in the wiki about this, and then in the wiki where you will be talking about your experience.
Yep.
And then we can see if there's a potential for anything else.
Mm-hmm. Potential for other trainers, other practitioners of the breathing method, even other yogis that have other understandings of breath or what have you, right? So,
maybe the whole wiki is more. I mean, the Wim Hof started it, but like breathing.
Well, I mean, he adapted
started it from like into the new scan. Like this is what the starting point, but then it can go out. But it'd be very interesting, and I'm committed. So.
Okay, next one is another Vicky Lee. Did we give her a comment on this one here? She wants to do Open Wide Toronto. I want to interview the host of Open Wide Toronto a new podcast by Rise TO, a youth community engagement organization that tackles issues of sexual health and well-being of
QTBIPOC youth.
Do you know what that means?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Let me search that.
I would say BIPOC is Black Indigenous People of Color, and I think QT means queer and trans. I'm guessing.
So yeah, it's queer and trans, Black, Indigenous, and people of color.
It's like the acronym's been switched around a bit from before.
That's the problem. Like for me, like there are changes daily, so it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the point being, they talk about those youth in Toronto.
Yeah.
Launched a podcast last week, and it'd be great to talk to the reps about their project. Yeah, I'm definitely down with Vicky getting another one of these. One of her interviews under her belt. Yeah.
They launched a podcast just last week.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to let
you are appearing as Paige.
I'm Paige, yeah. Uh-oh, Scott Have you done five yet? Because no. So the Ben Garson's picture.
That's right. Well, this is more of a Pan and I post. I just did it because Pan didn't do it.
What do you mean?
Well, okay. Let's have actually before we go into the lovely vaccine debate, let's have a quick little break here, and then we'll dive right in. We'll jab right in.
Looking forward to
Right.
Pan. Don't encourage him.
I am not.
Stop
But it's funny.
Oh, okay. I guess to each their own.
Here in Mirvish Village, alternative thinking has been redefining what it means to thrive as individuals, as well as a conscious business here in Toronto. We're here at Alternity on Bloor, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Rezo. So let's start by having you tell us about Alternity in relation to Alterate and all the amazing things you do.
Right. Yeah, that's where we are now. This is the Elixir Bar, the community space, that little, the experience, so we call it, that really formed out from the other shop.
The geographic location of alternative thinking. Right now it is very chaotic, it's very noisy, it's very dusty. So what is your take on Toronto's ever-evolving landscape?
Okay, welcome back. We're Pan is finding my laugh very contagious. So, our laughter is contagious.
Yes.
That didn't work. Anyways, before the break, we were just about to go into in the wiki we want to cover on Friday, and really we talked. So we have a new writer in who actually comes from a writing background. So it'd be really nice to, and that's the main thing, to cover this in a balanced, neutral way. I mean, obviously, because I posted the image, it's not balanced or neutral, but I'm learning. So that was just a start for the wiki. I did put some links in the comments, which I guess
I'm
you
just
can't
trying
see.
to read that tweet of Dr. Simone Gold, where she's saying America's frontline doctors are at the CDC in Atlanta to protest against forcing millions of Americans to take an experimental vaccine for COVID-19, a pathogen with a survival rate of 99.7%.
And it's kind of a big thing with this vaccine where they're saying they've reached 95%.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, naturally with our own immunity, and I mean, not to go into it right now. I mean, I think we won't stop.
If we are going to cover this, it needs to be very in-depth researched piece.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be very balanced.
Yeah, I think one of the key words here is the idea of forcing, right? Like
Yes.
it's a forced vaccine, or whether or not it is or isn't, right? And then again, they're like, well, you don't have to get it, but you can't go by train, plane, or automobile if you don't have it, that type of stuff, right?
So it's indirect force, if you ask me.
Yeah, of course, right?
I can't fly if I'm not having the vaccine, so maybe I do not agree to it, but I will take it even if it's experimental, if I want to be somewhere urgently.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you can't take...
Just while we're here to consider, I have the checklist up, so the forced by can't move. I think one thing we talked about, the legal liability and what to this whole main picture is like through the whole entire supply chain, there's zero legal liability. Everyone's been removed, even our politicians.
Well, this book talks about the court cases and how they've fought for, there is a recourse for them to get some compensation.
But it's from, like, right now the Canada government said they're creating their own fund for people that get vaccine injury. So again, it's under we pay for it, not these companies.
Yeah.
And this is an accelerated sort of process of that.
Well, yeah. So it will require a bit of work to do any sort of story on this one, right? And we need to know that our journalists are are
Up to the task.
Up to the task, right? So
Yeah, and also like when it is going to be done and how much in what time frame we will be getting it out, because vaccines have started rolling out and
So this is for now. We're filming it on Friday to get it out on Friday. Like it's in the wiki, so we're recording.
Yeah, if so, so that means they will have to get it written and everything, presentation, everything by tomorrow.
Correct. So
and get it approved.
So that's why Vera's coming today, and also Natalia. They're going to be pretty much sitting down working on it, and that's why we're not doing the assignment test today, because we're only the headlines we're going to film, but we want to really work on the team to focus on getting this and getting it balanced and getting it right.
So I'm just making a note. Let's get this done ASAP in the wiki.
I'm putting a due date on the card.
That will be great, and you'll be tagging.
So what's the premise?
So
I think again, like if we could have a good succinct premise, it will make it a lot easier for the research, right?
Yes, yes. So I was thinking like the approach of, I think there is a lot of resistance to the idea of being vaccinated, especially this one. Right, and we are just going to focus on COVID vaccine and not other vaccines, and like all the facts about the vaccine and what happens if you take it and what happens if you don't take it. I would like to have that kind of approach.
Yeah,
and right from like this is the vaccine which is just recently developed. So I would like to take it from there.
and kind of like a different style and
Yes,
all
how
this
it is
sort of stuff.
different from the traditional vaccines that have been developed.
Yeah,
In kind of one thing was I've seen a doctor speak about how this way has never been able to be vaccinated before.
Yeah.
It's a very hard approach in what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like there is that how it is different.
Yeah.
I think I would like to also talk about like shaming and like with gaslighting or whatever, where it's like, no, I don't want to take this vaccine. Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. And it's like, no, this one. Like,
Yeah, specifically, not everyone, because in this scenario, what I'm saying is, even regular people, like even like a lot of people are okay with vaccines, but they're not particularly okay with this one.
yeah,
Because
they've
the
looked into
development process is so different that it is giving a lot of doubt to a lot of people. So
Well, there's arguments for either case, and but I think again, like, we need to look at like what areas do we want to go into, because like you could kind of just open one door and it turns out to be a huge sort of thing. Like it's like, oh, people shaming and the kind of the general views that people have. Like I think we could touch on it, but it's a bit tricky as a journalist, even like within the wiki, to talk about like this person has this opinion, this person has that opinion, right? Like so.
I would like to focus on scientific facts and what the.
You're touching your mic.
Oh, sorry. I want to just focus on scientific facts, and I want to just talk about doctors' opinion, expert opinions, and have cover both the sides.
I mean, there's probably also going to be like like legal challenges and what have you that are happening as well, and those again fall into the realm of facts, right?
So this is one thing I want to like. So I'm listening to the radio, and they had the doctor come on to explain this vaccine, and they're asking about like, well, why shouldn't we do this? And that doctor just laid in and said, you're not doing this for you. You're doing this for everyone else. Like, he just full on, and I recorded it and everything. And again, for us, like in news, it's like, that's that one side. He was with two anchors. They didn't question him at all. He came and did a spiel and left. But really just said, like, if you don't take it, you're a selfish piece of whatever. And like, and just really just pushed that narrative hard and down. And it was just shaming. It was just like, again, you don't want to take this, you're going to kill, you're really going to kill everyone.
But I think that's the problem when it comes to infectious diseases, because mostly whatever you are doing, it's not just for yourself, but it is also for your family and closed ones, because it's infectious. And that's where this thinking also comes, like I was talking about even the mask, like not everyone will be okay wearing a mask, but they'll just wear it because it impacts the people around them. And they would be like, okay, I'm going to wear this. There are a lot of people like that as well.
Yeah, well, no, it makes sense. It was just that, where we have doctors focus on doctors' opinions. I mean, to bring in the anti-vax or the selfish thing, I think it is something that needs to be talked about, or at least I don't know how to neutralize that.
Yeah, but first, I think I would like to, maybe we can have the second in the wiki about the impact of human life, the impact of vaccine on human life. But first, I would like to, focus on the scientific facts, like how it is developed differently than other vaccines. And what doctors, because even doctors have different opinions over here, just like I read the Twitter one where the doctor is saying that no, we should not be taking this because it's not it's an experimental vaccine rather than proper vaccine. So even I would like to focus on the scientific facts first before going on the impact on human lives and how they're dealing with social impact of it, where people are being forced to decide to take it, that kind of thing.
Cool. I've made the card.
Okay, so here's another, I guess, I posted a few stuff here. So I found this article from Biospace talking about the cause of heart damage. COVID-2 causes heart damage in 20% of people with mild or no COVID-19 symptoms. So this is, again, because I've been watching a lot of the long haulers, these people that have these kind of pretty devastating or long-term ramifications of catching COVID-2. Those very low energy seems to be a common one, an inability to lose a cough sort of thing, or sometimes it's there's no real symptoms, but they just have this this fatigueness that they're experiencing, right?
Even my sister has this, because after catching COVID, she is I'm always fatigued, and doctor was you will be like this for 3 months.
Yeah. So I think the stories like this are just crucial that we cover, right? Heart damage with mild or no COVID-19 symptoms. So again, this is looking at a cardiologist, because basically it gets a lot of attention for pulmonary and respiratory diseases. But so anyway, so the fact that this is 20%. So as we kind of say, why are we doing this for a disease that's got 97.3% survival rate? It's there are other stuff that's happening here, and this is kind of part of this beast that we have to look into, right? So
I think it's great to cover this stuff. I do the one thing with as we explore more with PCR tests and the aspect of COVID in just this COVID lens, but no one's exercising, no one's going out, no one's after you get sick, go to the gym, work out, you can get things move forward faster. So it's just, I don't know how to even
these people the long haulers, they say that they're running out of breath walking up the stairs, right? So I think it's not really the correct thing for us to say you have to go to the gym and work out.
Well, they have no ability to, right now we're entering into a place where people have I'm suffering from it. Well, I did Wim Hof, my partner, she's, people are now in suffering mode that they can't exercise or actually keep themselves healthy. That's maybe, again, nothing to do with this sort of aspect, but if we're just okay, people with COVID have this ailment, it's this narrow scope on this
but
topic.
we do 99% of your scope that you're talking about, where we've already talked about vitamin D. We're talking about all these other stuff. So if we don't do this stuff, I think we come across as saying we're dismissive
so
of
what do you
COVID.
want to do? Tweet this?
I was just thinking to republish this one.
Or we have to get approval.
We have to get but I'd say we could either I could search for other places that might be carrying a similar thing. We could do our own story on it or whatever, right? So
I can just do a tweet.
A tweet would be the best thing for right now, but I think it's we need to look. I've asked Vicky to reach out and interview some long haulers, some people that are experiencing some stuff, and to look for other doctors and administrators that are dealing with it directly. Right?
Do you want to? I'll just tag you in it, or unless you. That's what I'm saying. If you can put the tweet with the copy, then I could literally put this through right now to upload.
Okay. We'll keep moving along.
Okay, well, I'm going to put you then as the member or pan or whatever, but I'll put it in for, so it's ready to go. I have it here. I can go into review.
Yeah, you can like just, let's see. So you have the text ready for the tweet?
No, I don't. I will not type. I'm sorry, I can't. But anyways, this here, I'm going to move it forward into the review.
Yeah.
Or I'll put it into...
Just put it in the
assignment
tweet
desk.
one. Yeah, assignment desk.
Okay.
Tweet. We will have to see our resources
So like
for
20%.
the article. For the article or interview, right? For the interview rather.
Okay, so here's another one that I posted, and again, this would require a little bit of investigation, but there's this Johnny M, and if we could find this person, he had a very harrowing experience where he had a Christmas party, which was basically in I think it was like kind of a semi-industrial, like maybe warehouse type of setting. Had some people show up. I don't know if it says the exact number, but it was some 5-year-olds, like young children, and doesn't even look like that there was that many people. I can't see the exact thing. But basically, yeah, the police just barged in and started walking through the offices, handing out tickets and everything like that, and then started like looking through their files and stuff like that as if they had some sort of like drug organization going on. They're like, hey, like you're coming in here for some health violation, like give us the tickets and get out. Like what's going on here, right? So so this person reached out to Randy Hillier because they know that he's an actual he's probably the only person in maybe not the only one, but one of the only ones that is sitting in the Queen's Park's legislative building.
So you don't see comments, eh?
What do you mean? Yeah, I could see comments if I click
Oh,
here.
it's over there. I did forward that off to Raj. Just to also see if Rocco had like what's going on, and I thought, I mean, if you're gonna, it'd be something to. I would like to somewhere like get a police official statement on some of this stuff and figure out what is happening, because yeah, there definitely seems to be different laws being followed.
At the end of it, I don't even know which what region of police this is, what division. It doesn't have all that information there, so I mean, this is probably reaching out to Randy, or I don't even know how we exactly would follow up, but it's a pretty...
Maybe we can do an interview with them and ask their story, their side, that what happened.
The Johnny, right? Yeah. But like I say, this is just something that Randy posted on his site, so it's this is a letter that he received from Johnny M, and that person, we don't have the full identification, so...
Yeah, like we can get in touch with Randy and ask his help that if he can connect us, and like we can ask them like, would you like to talk about your experience?
Yeah, okay, so
it's nothing much, like, just let's talk about your experience, let everyone know, because see, shutdown is one thing and treating people with respect is another thing.
Yeah, ask.
That's the only thing I just don't like, Randy, because when like you have difference of opinion, it doesn't mean that you cannot treat anyone with respect.
No, and this is kind of the fear, is that like this is being used to like expand like police state power and government control and everything like this, right? So this is where like as citizens we're always trying to find the balance.
But you can also talk nicely to people that this is the thing and we have this law right now and whatever it is, but just barging in and treating someone as a criminal is not a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll reach out to Randy and see if you could put us in contact with John. Johnny,
if not more, I'm just interested in that entire experience.
Yeah, I mean,
So okay, I'll make a card quickly for that as an interview.
Let's see if Randy can help us put.
We're on another.
Okay, cool.
Commercial break coming up here.
Let's hear from our sponsors.
All right, we'll be right back after the sponsor.
Hello, bonjour. I'm Véronique Odette. Today we're discussing the flawed lockdown model that shut down Canada and the world. So to begin with, Donald Trump, unavoidable. He tweeted on October 12th that the World Health Organization admitted that he was right, that lockdowns are killing countries all over the world, which factually, as we'll see, is correct. This was rapidly fact-checked by Global News, by factcheck.org. I shudder at the thought of thinking about how many of our grandfathers, grandmothers, family members are currently suffering. It's clear in his report that Neil Ferguson knew about the mortality discrepancy in people of different ages.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to In24. We are still going through the rest of the news scan here, the news of the day, and you can catch us on msmu.me as well. Okay, so a story that I think merits our attention is what's going on with the election challenges and the apparent voting discrepancies, I think is the word that they're dancing around regarding the U.S. election. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is the thing about this one is it's a complicated topic.
Yes.
Right, but I think one of the things that's happening is that there is a lot of evidence, or at least people's testimony that's, I guess, considered evidence, is being presented to legislative bodies in, I think, 6 or 7 states. There's still Supreme Court challenges. There's actual dockets that have been made. There was the famous Texas one that was signed by over 20 other states, saying that they were looking for a remedy because they did not think that the other states had conducted their elections according to their own constitution within each states, right? And of course the Supreme Court's like, that's those states conducting their laws. Like you're Texas, you don't have anything to do with it.
But on Monday, the electoral confirmed that Joe Biden won.
Yeah.
So I was
Were you
thinking...
saying Michigan?
No,
No,
the electoral...
the electoral, like the whole...
The electoral college.
Yeah. And that's what I think, that's how even Trump won the first time around, because of electoral college or whatever.
Well, yeah, they're all electoral college votes. Like there wasn't actually
Yes.
any controversy around whether or not Trump won the electoral college.
Yeah, so they were the ones who had actually confirmed Trump's winning in 2015-16.
Yeah, well, that's the way it always works.
Yeah, and that's how, like, even on Monday, they actually confirmed that Biden is the winner. And now I'm thinking, like, just like how Democrats were outraged that Trump won, now I'm thinking if this is Republican outrage that Biden won.
So the thing about it is that the Republican or the Democrats were angry that Trump won, and they said there was Russian interference and all this sort of stuff.
Yes.
But 4 years later, they were going on about it, but they were never able. They never really produced any evidence.
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, there are some cases where they produced evidence. Sometimes they've like lost procedurally, like you're not an actual injured party, whatever the situation is, just how the court systems work, right? But there is a number of cases that are still going up for the Supreme Court, which should not should not get brought down due to procedural reasons. Like they've kind of striking all the things, but the court systems are also trying very hard not to offer remedy. They don't want to get involved. They want to basically let Biden win.
Yeah.
And but the thing about it is there are lots of incidences where they say, hey, these elections were not run properly, they were not run in good faith, they were run somewhat like illegally, right? So these are challenges that are getting made by the court systems. And I think it's interesting how, like, again, this gets to the point where it gets to be a very large story. And I'm not sure exactly how to juggle it, because there's all the accusations and the ways that the media is kind of controlling the narrative. Then there's what's actually happening. So the fact that the people don't really know what the real merits of the cases are, and that the court systems themselves are very corrupt as well. right?
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it's like they're corrupt, but they're playing the game. Like, like they're kind of saying like, oh, no, you didn't fill out this form properly, you didn't
Yeah.
do this properly. And they're kind of trying to get rid of dealing with these problems. But at the end of the day, there's still very many Americans, and apparently this number is growing greatly, like as more and more people are kind of like figuring out what's going on and seeing like the video evidence of them pulling the ballots out from underneath a table after they sent everyone home in Georgia, these types of stuff, right? So, and then not actually doing, they're not auditing the ballots, so they're not doing signature count verifications and stuff like this, right? So there's lots of discrepancies happening here. And it's one thing where like there's kind of like very pro-Trump media, and they're covering it like, but again, very biased. And then there's
That's what I'm saying. Democrat outrage.
but it's but the
Republic
thing about it though, even though they might be biased, they're still like plodding along using lots of facts that the other ones don't even consider. They're just dismissive of everything, right? So
I think one of the big things that on this and not being really balanced is like when you read and it's like and Trump still has baseless claims, and like it's really the sort of blanket narrative, and even with YouTube censoring over and these things, it's like it's not really honest. It's not really like this whole thing with Trump and not in this Russia collusion. Zero evidence was able to be produced. This baseless claim, there is mountains of video evidence and court cases, and there actually is a lot of evidence, and kind of to this point of the map from Epoch Times, and kind of like maybe like bringing this back, because we'd rather do it in the wiki talk on all this or something. But it's like, for me, I like Epoch Times as in they're more reporting on the process and the legal battles, and really gives that sort of view.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, okay, the Electoral College won, but actually it's until January 20th, and there's still many legal processes happening.
Yeah.
So like you can just be like, yeah, he won and he got like that's I feel
it will be January 6th is when actually Pence, I guess Pence actually makes it official. So he's technically the president-elect now, but Pence is, because he's president of the Congress.
Yeah.
The vice president runs the Congress, or not the Congress, the Senate. Sorry. So he still has the opportunity to be like, no, it's not. It's not valid. There's too many challenges happening.
And there are military tribunals going on around this stuff too, and things. So there's just
what do you mean by military tribunals?
There's a whole military aspect of looking into if there isn't this mass election fraud and this whole Chinese sort of aspect. It's a military issue, and now there's like an actual compromise thing. So there's actually a whole military process going on right now that it could be a potential coup, and that they're trying to steal an election, and that's a military issue. So there's.
I don't know if it is. Is it?
Honestly,
I think the military is not supposed to get involved in civil stuff, right?
This now is because of where the elections were being counted. There's foreign interference. There's foreign bodies now.
Is that verified that that those servers were in Germany?
Yeah, I mean, it's verified from people in the House coming out saying we verified it. It's like we have official people coming saying that this is.
So, I would say let's just find good stories, balanced stories that we can republish on the topic, because I do not think we have resources to investigate properly and have in the wiki.
Well, I mean, one of the things we'll go over is, because I've got notes and everything like that, so I need to convert my notes into stories.
Okay.
Right. So I think just finding like just simple stuff like there are challenges up at the court. These sorts of things would be enough to make like a couple stories about it.
Yes.
Just so it's like
we can write short couple of stories where what is happening. We are just reporting what is happening, and if there are good analysis pieces, we can just republish that.
Yeah. Okay.
Just quickly scrolling down, I think on that, and this is like intercollective things. If you scroll down, Tommy. So this one up. Right there, those two videos, up a little, those. This is showing kind of some of this sort of interference where you have, I I even have the video before where these delegates signed their votes.
Yeah.
And this is them going to submit it, and there was like 120 cops there.
Yeah.
Sent from they say governor or whatever, but just really not allowing them even to get in. And then that's how Michigan goes to Biden. But they're like, literally the cops are like, no, you can't come in.
But the
So-
thing,
So is this video from reliable source? Or
Yeah,
This is a video of these people. I have the video of these people signing
Yeah.
the documents, right? So this is like, reliable source.
but
don't
it's
know
like
what that means.
I don't know. I don't have the context of what's happening here. Like I know that it's a video. These people are trying to get into the building, and they're saying that there's a certain amount of delegates. But I don't know like what time it is. Like is this a counting station?
So
What
now,
is
now
the-
when so I didn't post the other video I have of them actually signing their delegates to the Republicans, so they're signing it to Trump, but it's like this is the video of them trying to go in to submit it. And
So into where?
I think it's I forget the exact terminology. I have it on the notes.
Yeah,
for the
so
other video.
that's the only thing that we need, I think, in order to run this is
Yeah.
like we need to
The
know
who, what,
like
where, when, how.
it's this building. What is it they're trying to send in? What is the significance of it, right? And
Yeah.
if I know that, I could see that they're obviously getting barred from going to the building.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. Like he's like, oh, there's supposed to be 16 people. There's already 16 people. I thought just listening to it that perhaps he's talking about observers and this was a vote count, but maybe
No,
this
this
is
is now the cast of the delegates from
Okay.
Michigan. So these are the delegates,
Yeah.
and right there in the front, and they can't go in to give and they have their official sworn affidavits and everything, and they're not allowed to present that to get them counted.
Well, yeah. So that entire process is something that I personally need to get educated on. I don't know what it means, and like if we're going to write about it, we need to do it in a way that educates people, right?
Okay.
So,
I wouldn't like to write about it because I don't think so. We have experts to actually, because this is very sensitive topic, and I would rather rather publish someone good analytical pieces than try to create my own one.
Okay. Yeah, I think just more diligence on that. I mean, this would be to me, it's the only way we can cover that is the inner collective. Like finding good people that were like, okay, we like this, and this people balance Epoch Times, and then there's these other people.
Yeah.
Let's get the last story in, Tommy, and let's make it fun, exciting, as cool as what?
okay.
Ooh.
Did those?
I saw some silly psilocybins.
Well, look at that picture too. The covering. I think this one's pretty damn cool, but it's a New Scientist article. So
We can only tweet it.
So we can only retweet it, but basically the thing was saying that this quantum computer accomplishes in under 4 minutes what it would take the biggest supercomputer 600 million years to do. So that's significant.
Let's republish
Yeah.
this and tweet and
Well, we
republish
can't
it.
Yeah,
republish,
okay.
but we can tweet it.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
tweet it.
Okay. That's
We
pretty
publish
much
the
makes all
story.
security passwords obsolete.
Well, I don't know. It's
Well, that's
but going into it is a pretty complicated sort of thing, right? Yeah, maybe we should
Yeah.
write out to New Scientists and just be like, hey, we think you guys are pretty cool. Like, I actually got a subscription from them because I used to have one years ago, and then I just got one again yesterday because I was looking for the news. Okay, you want to get onto psilocybin? Are we
Well,
done?
I think just quickly on psilocybin, what I really want is Cam H is doing ayahuasca stuff with people in depression.
Oh, Cam H is doing it? Yeah, we'll have to look into that
so
too.
I'm going to reach out to get an interview in that because, tons of stuff. Okay, that's it for the news scan today. We have lots on Telegram here where you can see all of it. Pan and Tom will make notes there. You can see, and this is really the start of news in 24. So you can catch us live on msmu.me and really get involved in the conversation, submit us stories. And if you want to sponsor us too, we're looking for sponsors. Anyways, enjoy the day. Our office is starting up, so we got to get ready, go get our coffee and stuff.
Yes.
So thank you for joining the news scan, and we'll catch you later.